Welcome to this week's Resoluna podcast. For me, this is a very special week. Our guest today happens to be my husband, Byron Ross from Byron Ross Fitness. So we're going to welcome you to the podcast today. Byron, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for coming. Why did we ask you to come? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because he's a wellness, nutrition, he won't like this, but expert. He is very good in your field. And our podcast is about wellness and how to overall live a lifestyle, mind, body, spirit, including the gym and food wellness. So you were mostly doing women, and now you're doing children.
Yes.
So my thought or question around that is, what is the difference? Like, how do you feel like it's shifted for you going from mostly females trying to lose weight to training kids?
Well, switching from females to then training the kids is very different because there's less emotion with the kids. And it reminds me a lot of myself growing up. So I always looked up to athletes and I love sports. I love being active. And so being able to have an impact on youth, which is something I enjoy, even though we don't have kids. So then it's like an easy transition. And it was originally my plan fresh out of college. Like I wanted to train athletes, but then my business model lended more to training 95% women, make that make sense. Um, and so then I just ran with that, but then I just had this strong urge to be back in that environment. I really miss training the athletes, being around the kids and the energy they bring. But I enjoy both. I mean, I'll be honest, I do. Like I love it all. So, but like training the kids is just a different energy, reminds me a lot of myself, and then being able to give back, and I pray that I'm having an impact on their lives, not just on the field, but teaching them what structure and discipline and consistency looks like, even in terms of just how I show up every single day with them. I do my best to be very consistent with everything that we do, from the training to how I present myself as well.
Not to throw you off, but like I'm thinking to myself, if your female clients were kids, what would you go back and say to them before they got to where they are so that they could manage their fitness and wellness in a different way? What would you want to teach those little girls that were women that are now coming to you that are emotional?
Learn to enjoy the process and not be so, I mean, because weight loss is the biggest thing
Right. For
always.
women, that's most
I
of the time.
mean, and so when you're training predominantly middle-aged women or just in society, like so weight focused, like enjoy the process, like build some habits. Like, what are your overall goals? Why are we so tied to the scale? Why are you married to this thing? Does that define who you are? No one knows the number on your head. What does fit look like for you?
So what habits are you trying to instill in these children that, and it's not too late for us, that we can create for ourselves now?
Um, to build habits and consistency, because I believe if we can start with the younger generation now, then the trajectory down the road, they will more than likely stay active if they see the benefits. And a lot of athletes do stay active, but a lot of athletes fall off. But then getting them to understand this is bigger than just sports. And
Hmm.
so the habits that I'm trying to help them build and impart can then carry on to the rest of their lives as well.
Obviously, I know you. So
Hmm.
I know one of your passions is confidence
Yes.
because, that is one of the things that really derails people
Hmm.
is so how are you teaching the kids and how can people really build their own internal confidence?
Well, I think it's showing up for yourself every single day and keeping your word to yourself. You know, um, Obviously, I'm dealing with 90 plus kids,
Right.
and it's JV and varsity. And so one of the first things I did was challenge them, like, what is your standard? Like, what do you stand for being on this team? And how are you going to show up for yourself in the weight room every single day? And what do you expect to get out of this? And then I explained to them, I was like, well, this is my standard. I'm going to show up and consistently ask you guys to be your best. I'm going to give you guys 100%. And, I use a smart term. It's like, I'm going to keep my foot on your throat because I'm here. You guys are one of the best teams in the state. to get better, to get stronger. I'm not going to expect, I'm going to demand this. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it every single day. And I laugh and joke with them, but I let them know this is my standard. And if Coach Ross or Byron, whatever they call me, doesn't live up to that standard, call me out on it too.
So you're saying you put yourself to that standard every
Yes.
day and you build your own
Yes.
confidence through.
Yes. You have to, because if your actions and words aren't in alignment, nobody believes you.
Well, you don't believe
You
yourself.
don't believe your damn self. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel that I get to show up every single day for these kids and demonstrate what that looks like. And so then hopefully they see it as well. And I felt in about 4 months, I've been pretty consistent with that.
When I can tell you, real world from practicality aspect is like, how often do we lie to ourselves? We were just having this talk this morning about the chocolate. Okay, what lie did I tell myself on the way to the chocolate, right?
Yeah.
To make it okay to have.
Yeah.
And so having your own standard and not lying to yourself and being confident can translate even in that way.
Well, I think it's big to get them to understand how powerful it is to keep your word to yourself. It builds confidence when you say you're going to do X, Y, Z, or I'm going to consistently show up in the weight room, or even like this morning, we showed up and it was an easy day and the kids were messing around because they know we're not working that hard. I was like, there's still value in this recovery day of what we're doing, even though you only had a scrimmage yesterday. Well, what's going to happen when we're 8, 9 weeks in the season? You guys are beat up. You're trying to make a run for a state championship. And then Coach Ross comes out here and wants to pound you into the ground. I was like, that's not what we're here. We're trying to get you guys to understand the value of moving, because then after this, you're going to go sit for 2 hours and watch game film. And they were like, oh, okay. And like getting them to understand that when we ran the sprints today, they were at 60%. I explained it to them and immediately they took off sprinting. I was like, and I'm running with them, mind you.
Yeah.
I told them I was going to set the pace, but then they still just wanted to go. Like, guys, there's value in me pushing you hard, but there's also value in me learning to pull back from so much, because we can't always go hard because we're in the season now.
So for clarification purposes, this is language you use all the time. And you're talking about value, right? Because I feel like this translates to adults, right? You go into the weight room, you can't go 120% every day when you get there,
No.
because so, what is that value for you in I guess controlling your gas pedal? Is that what you would call it?
Yes, I mean, I think it's understanding that, seeing the big picture
Okay.
and the long game. And then I'm still new working with these athletes. So we're 4 months in with 14, 15, and 16-year-old kids who've never been in this environment.
Yeah.
Most of them have never been in a weight room. They probably haven't had anyone hold them to this standard or this level of this is what we get to do. But then also letting them know that if I'm not like this, someone can get hurt. And that's my biggest, I understand it's part of what I do, but it's my biggest fear, because that's someone's child. That's a kid. And then God forbid they get hurt on my watch, then, it does bother me.
Yeah.
So let them know that when we're in the weight room, even though we're kids, we're not here to mess around. Like, this is serious business of what it is we're trying to do. And so we get to show up, and for 45 to 60 minutes, can we at least just focus on what it is we're here to do? And we can still have fun too.
Well, sure. And I think what I hear you're saying is that you're building skills, right?
Yes.
The skill to have a vision, think about long term, not just right now. Like, yeah, you want to sprint and beat this person right now, but then you're out of the race later on, right?
Yes.
And so that's a skill, being able to monitor yourself for the big picture. Patience is another skill.
Yes.
And getting hurt. Like, adults are worried about getting hurt too. They go
Yes.
into the gym and then they're out for a week, right? So building these skills in order to understand that it all works together for the big picture.
Yes.
I think a lot of people don't realize that about you, and sometimes they think you're just so disciplined and so focused, but you're really zooming out as well. Like we went painting the other day, and you're like painting this little stick figure, and the lady's like, well, if you're right up on top of it, you really can't see it. But if you take a step back, then you can know where your next move might
You can see the
need to
beauty
be.
in the pictures of what we were painting.
Yeah.
Like, up close, it was hard to see it. But then when she did say that. It resonated with me. Like, well, take a
Me
step back
too.
and look at what it is we were painting, so then you see it. Because when you're sitting there stroking, I'm like, there's no way my picture's gonna look like that one that's
I
up
thought the
there.
same thing.
Like, how's this possible?
Hmm.
And then when I took a step back, and even now that those pictures are up, I was actually looking at them this morning, and it was interesting how well they came out. But when you're right up on it, it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, I'm not very good at this, you know.
I
But they
thought the
actually,
same thing.
but they came out really well. Like, I was impressed with myself.
Good job. Good job.
Right?
So how does that translate? Because I know that translates to fitness, but how do you feel like that translates to wellness overall? Because people get so caught up in, I ate the chocolate today, and then they're hung up and now their day is ruined.
Well, I think people don't realize, like, it's just one thing. And it's like I asked you about, like, okay, you mess up on one meal. How many meals are you having for the month if we just pan out to that month? And so if you eat 4 times a day, there's 30 days, 120 meals. You had maybe one moment where you went off with chocolate. All right. That's not what's changing your body, you know, or having an impact on you. Now, how often are you doing that? Or what is your overall goal per se? And I could use us as an example as we're getting older. Okay, yes, it may be about doing these certain things, but what do we want our later years to be like? Do we want to be agile? Do we want to be mobile to be able to move? Do we want to have, you know, our cognitive still there? And so then you see the bigger picture. And I've always kind of had that mindset, okay, what do I want to be like down the road? And I will tell people, like, okay, now that I'm 48, going on 49, I knew I was going to look like this
Yeah,
because I said I
vision.
was going to.
I mean, it seems simple, but how do you keep your word to yourself so often? Because I don't know anyone that breaks least as you do, if that's the right way to say it.
Because I
it's
feel if
social
I let
pressure.
myself down, then what else do I have? Then it's easy to give in to everyone else.
Yeah,
And then what I think matters most
yeah.
for myself, first and foremost.
So, like kids, adults, like the kids are getting distracted with each other, getting out of focus. Adults get
Understatement.
distracted because everyone's at a party and they want to offer you a cocktail. Like navigating life from that consistent place because you are an expert at that. I don't. Were you born that way? Like, how did you get
No,
there?
so what I found with, okay, let's take the adult thing and parties and family. I mean, I hear this classic. My family likes to eat. Yeah, you and every other family, get over yourself. Every culture does. Like, food has been celebrated for centuries. But I feel you get to show up and consistently, with respect, tell people no thank you. No thank you. And people want you to have a good time. But if you say no thank you enough, they realize that Byron says no thank you. They will leave you alone. But if you slip up early on and don't teach them how to treat you, they will continue to offer. And then they will guilt trip you. I
Yeah.
don't give in to guilt trip.
No, you do not. Yeah.
People will say, you're making me feel bad. What? How does what I do make you feel bad? Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel bad when I choose to eat 6 donuts and you're like, well, babe, I only need 1. Good for you. I need 6. Yeah, it's
And he
excessive.
does eat 6.
Yes,
There's
and I
no
will
lie.
eat 6. I was like, that's excessive. Yeah, but that's what I want, you know? And so it's like, well, you only want 1? All right. That's weird. Now we got to buy 7.
Well, she
How about we
provided
just
like
buy
at
a
12.
dozen? Yeah, just buy a dozen. I can eat the other 5 tomorrow. See where I'm going with this?
I do.
But no, like, you have to learn to teach people how to treat you and keep your word to yourself. Because if you give in every moment, then
Easy to fall off
it's
the
easy to
wagon.
fall off the wagon consistently, honestly.
So, what do you see as the thing that makes people fail the most? Besides that one, like, because you've worked with a lot of clients.
Not having clear intentions of what their goals are
Okay.
and what that looks like to them. Comparison is a thief of joy. Like, people will say, I want to be fit. Okay, what does that look like to you?
So, have a specific goal for
Yes.
yourself.
For yourself.
Stay consistent. Keep your word to yourself.
Yes.
And what's your thought on discipline? Is it just sheer discipline?
Well, I think keeping your word to yourself then helps breed discipline. And obviously some people have that more than others, but I feel by doing those other things and keeping your word to yourself leads to greater discipline.
So, what are you most passionate about via your clients? the kids, like for their well-being? Like, what do you want to see for them the most for their well-being?
I think it's very powerful to, in my space, to be able to help people achieve a level of confidence that they can get the results that they want. There's nothing more powerful than that, because no one can take that away from you.
Obviously, because I know you so well. The other thing I know you're passionate about is how people talk to themselves.
Well, yeah.
And how does that play a role in the confidence?
Well, it's everything. Because if you are waking up with this negative talk, how are you going to proceed forward consistently? Now, those thoughts we all have. There's no doubt about that. But then I personally ask myself, how are these thoughts working in your best interest? Whether it's about me or anything else, but more so myself. Like, how is that Byron working in your best interest? And if it doesn't, do my best to control those thoughts, because we do have control over that. It's a
The
choice.
thoughts, or do you feel, because thoughts pop in, so do you try to prevent the thoughts, or you just navigate the thoughts when they come?
I just navigate the thoughts because it's natural to have thoughts. I mean, I can't tell you as confident as I am, I don't like being called an expert.
I know.
Like,
But you,
because I'm still learning,
Yeah.
and I enjoy this so much, the health and fitness, nutrition, training. I mean, it's all I watch and pay attention to. Like, I love it. I love watching how bodies move, but I'm still learning so much, and it is changing. So how am I an expert when I'm practicing it still as well? So I wouldn't consider myself an expert. And like when I joined the other team, I had a huge bout of imposter syndrome because, okay, I have a degree and I have a minor in nutrition, but these are dietitians
and 25 years of experience, and
well, yeah, and that's what then one of them said to me. But the fact that I'm on a team with, like, okay, they all have masters and stuff like that, and then one of them said, like, bro, you've been doing this a while, you know your stuff, but I'm human too.
so are you an expert in yourself?
Yeah.
Like knowing you, right?
Yes,
So
I know me.
yeah, you do know
Yeah,
you,
I
and
know
I
me.
know that's what helps you succeed,
Yeah,
because
I know me.
you stay in your own lane. You know what works for you. You very rarely get into Me Too and FOMO. You just
But I
do you.
still challenge myself as well to see clearly different perspectives, because I'm like that, and then I self-reflect a ton. That's why I love training by myself. When you see me pacing in between sets, walking like a caged animal, I'm self-reflecting, thinking about how I'm showing up in the world, or how I'm showing up for others, or how can I continuously improve. That's what I'm doing. It may be blaring music in the background, but that's
You
what
do.
I do.
You're very self-reflective for sure. So if you had to give 5 tips for people on their wellness journey, wherever they are, what tools would you give them? Your top 5 tools.
Number one, have clear intentions of what your goals are. No one else. Don't compare it to
Okay.
social media. Number one, have clear intentions. Have a long-term goal, but set short-term goals in there, because when people have wins, it makes you want to win more.
There's studies about that for
It's
sure.
pretty basic,
Brain science, yeah.
If you get some wins, maybe your big picture is to lose 100 pounds, but let's bite that off in chunks. But then also make it a reasonable amount of time. Like, don't set yourself up for failure. I want to do it in a year.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
Okay.
And then find out within whatever that goal is that you want to set, what's important. So if we're just talking basic nutrition, I would tell most people focus on, number one, staying hydrated every single day. It's the most simple thing that you can do. Drink enough water. Make sure you get enough protein, and then rest and recovery. And then you start 5A, 5B, and breaking it down more specific. So number one, have clear intentions. Make sure you set reasonable, attainable goals. Consume enough water. You get enough rest and recovery, because I feel that's where a lot of people really struggle. We burn the candle at both ends.
For sure.
Trying to do too many things. So.
And number 5?
Number 5, well, I believe we all could hold on to more muscle as we age or whatever you do. Make sure you consume enough protein.
Okay. Awesome. So we have a little tradition here on the podcast of picking a card.
Okay.
I usually bring different decks. You're the only one that has picked the unicorn deck. Go figure. If you could shuffle and then maybe just see what the message is for you and for our audience.
Give me shuffle. You know I don't shuffle well.
Just do it however you want to do it. Dump them on the floor and pick one. Of course, you pick the unicorn deck and do that.
Discernment.
Discernment. Okay, beautiful. So all is not what it appears. Stay focused, true to yourself. Keep your dreams a secret. So discernment, what does that mean for you?
Discernment for me, I would say means more about being open and seeing different perspectives about things. You know, it's not always, it's context. A lot of things are context. It's not just black or white. So being open to see other sides of things.
Yeah, and I love that because discernment can be confused with judgment. Like use good judgment, use good discernment. And to me, you know, and for the audience, discernment is about deciding for yourself, taking in the information, maybe not making a judgment, but discerning what is best for you, you know, kind of what like you were saying. So look today in your day where you can use discernment over judgment and make the right choice for yourself and then stay true to yourself. And like Byron said, build your own confidence and keep your word to yourself. Well, thanks for coming on, honey. We really appreciate your
Thank you for
time and
having me.
your expertise.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of weird when you said husband. I was like, oh,
Ooh,
shit.
I know it's
I'm
new
a
for us,
husband.
for sure. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you, wife.